So, hello everyone. So today in this video, I'm here to look at Henry origin story characters from good to evil. So let's get started. Now, one thing I should mention is that it's been a while since I made a good to evil video, so this is my first one in a while. So, but anyways, let's continue. The gold medal for most good, we have to give to Henry. Henry, I personally think, is a good candidate for this medal, for the gold medal for most good. Because in this movie, we can see him going through a lot, if that makes sense. I mainly give this to him because, well, I feel bad for him. What I mean by that is I feel bad that they mistreated him a bit at first, and at first they thought he was a good worker, but when they found out that he was experimental, they basically just decided not to use him anymore. However, when Hurricane got, basically broke down, they ended up using him, and they ended up seeing Henry's worth. So pretty much that's why I give that to Henry as the spot, since overall he's just a good guy, and we don't see him get angry much. I'm pretty sure, if I remember, we only see him get angry once, maybe. And yeah, another reason why I give this to him is he basically stands up to Hurricane. Well, not really stand up to him, but yeah. Pretty much what I mean is when Hurricane tries to get rid of him, he basically fights back, I guess. So yeah, pretty much, yeah. So once again, that's why I basically give this to Henry, because overall I think Henry's pretty deserving of it. So yeah. The silver medal for most good, we have to give it to Jimmy. Jimmy is Henry's mentor in this movie, and overall Jimmy is a friendly guy. He basically gives Henry advice that helps him along his way, and overall Jimmy is just a good friendly engine and a hard worker. It was a shame that they didn't use him for a while, but yeah. But eventually they saw Jimmy's worth again when the character of when basically Johnny disappeared for a bit. Actually, he disappeared for the rest of the movie, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So overall, that's why I give this to Jimmy, since he was Henry's mentor, and yeah, and he helped Henry along the way, and so that's pretty much the only reason why I give this to him. So yeah. The bronze medal for most good, we have to give to Johnny. Johnny is basically the engine that replaced Jimmy at first, but eventually, when Johnny went missing, Jimmy was put back in service. Pretty much, Johnny is a friendly character throughout this movie. The only time we see him get mad is at Hurricane, after Hurricane was rude to him. So, but ultimately, it's understandable why Johnny, it was mad, since Hurricane was mad at him at first for basically no reason, as far as I remember. But I can't remember that exactly. But yeah, but pretty much that's why I give this to Johnny. Another reason why I give this to Johnny is because of what happens to him in the end. Ultimately, he doesn't make it. That's all I'm going to say about that. So yeah. So pretty much that's why I give that to him. So yeah. Also, that's the title. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. Moving on. And give me a second. I just have to fix this. So yeah. The next character we'll rank is, I'll be ranking these two together. And these are Roger and Dave. Basically, they're the driver and fireman of Henry throughout this movie. And pretty much overall, they basically just support Henry, if I can remember. I can't really remember what they do in this movie, but pretty much I think they're pretty good characters, and I think they're pretty good overall. So yeah, so that's why I'll be putting them here. So yeah, the next character we'll be ranking is this guy. This guy, I forgot what his name was, but hold on, give me a second. But pretty much if I can figure out what this guy's name is, he basically congratulates Henry and Hurricane on their work. So pretty much that's for that. I basically give him this part in this list. So yeah. Anyways, give me a second. Just let me fix this. So I couldn't remember what that guy's was. But yeah. Like I said, I couldn't remember what that guy was, if he was the workman or so. But right now I'm looking at the credits for this movie, and there's a few workmen. There's two workmen and the / yard master. So I couldn't tell what he was. And yeah, but let's move on. The next character I'll be ranking is the other workman / yard master. Since right now I can't find the spot where he appears in, that's why I'll be not ranking. That's why I'll be not be showing him. But anyways, let's move on. The next character we'll be ranking is Lawrence. Lawrence, I put him lower on the list because basically he has a bit of a cocky attitude, and he's basically a stuck-up engine, if that makes sense. Basically, if you can tell by his monocle and stuff, I guess you could say pretty much throughout the movie, he like thinks himself better than other engines. Because especially in one scene where Jimmy asked if he could help him, since Henry was looking for Johnny in that scene, Lawrence ultimately denied him, and basically, pretty much that's all I remember. But yeah, so pretty much that's basically why I rank Lawrence here. He's not a bad character by any means, but he's not the best friendly type of character, I guess. I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, let's move on. The final character I'll be ranking in the good section is Edward. Edward, he only has a small appearance in this movie, but ultimately, when he first sees Henry, he's very friendly to him. So that's pretty much the only reason why I rank him here. So anyways, yeah. Let's move on to the gray area. The only person in the gray area I'll be talking about is Sir Nigel Gresley. He's credited in the movie, in the credits, but throughout this movie, I can't see him, so that's why he's the only character I'll be ranking in the gray area. So yeah, let's move on. We'll now move on to the evil to most evil category. So yeah, or pretty much the bad to evil, I mean. So yeah, at the bottom of the list here, we have Sir Topham Hatt. Ultimately, I like Sir Topham Hatt as a character. He's one of my personal favorite characters in this. But pretty much since he has a small appearance in this movie, and since his cranky type of attitude when we first see him, or well, not when we first see him, but mainly in this scene, that's why I have to rank him this low on the bad to evil section. He's not an evil character, but I just have to like put him here because of that. So yeah. Even though I could have put him in the gray area, I just basically didn't feel like it. So yeah. The next character we'll be ranking is the workshop manager, which I'm pretty sure is this guy, since this guy over here is a manager, but we'll talk about him in a bit. Pretty much I put him next is because when they basically don't know what to do with Henry, this guy here suggests that they scrap him because of how not good of a runner he was. So that's why I have to put him here. So yeah. But besides that, I can't remember if he does anything else throughout the movie. But yeah, but let's move on. The next character we'll talk about is the manager. The manager, he's overall a friendly guy, but there's some parts in this movie where he just basically isn't that nice, and he kind of goes close to being evil. But yeah, so because of that, we'll put him here. So, but ultimately, I'd say he's not an evil guy, but overall, he's just a pretty bad guy. But yeah. Also, a bonus character I'll talk about before I get into the evil characters is, as I just basically want to include Thomas here, since he has a small cameo. I don't know, I just basically want to include him, but he's not an evil character, Thomas. He doesn't even say anything, but hell, might as well include him. But yeah, the only reason why I put Thomas here is because the next characters we're going to talk about don't speak either. So yeah, the silver medal for most evil we have to give to the Green-Eyed Engines, aka Hurricane's friends. Hurricane's friends, aka the Green-Eyed Engines, aka something else. I forgot what their name was, but I'm just gonna be calling them the Green-Eyed Engines since I forgot what their names were. Pretty much the reason why they're in this spot is because basically they help kill other engines, if that makes sense. And yeah, and hold on, give me a second. Just let me fix this here. So yeah. So pretty much because of that, they're pretty evil for killing other engines, which is not good. So that's why I'll be putting them here. So yeah, but let's move on. Now we finally get to the character for most evil, and the most evil character we have to give to Hurricane. Hurricane ultimately starts off as a good guy, but over time throughout this movie, we see his true colors, if that makes sense. In the end, we ultimately see that he's not that good of a character and not that good of a guy. Okay, actually, I take that back. He's a good character, in my opinion. Hurricane's actually one of my favorite characters, but in this movie, he just basically doesn't seem like the character I like him for, if that makes sense. Ultimately, I like Hurricane being good, and that's why when he first appears in Thomas and Friends and Journey Beyond Sword, I like his little redemption thing, if that makes sense. But yeah. But in this movie, I'd say he doesn't really have that much of one. Actually, he doesn't have one at all, if that makes sense. Another reason why I mainly put him here is because of what he did to Johnny. Ultimately, Hurricane is the reason why we don't see Johnny again. Is because Hurricane is the one that has Johnny killed, if that makes sense. And it is mentioned in this movie that Hurricane has killed other engines as well, or had them get killed. So yeah. And pretty much another reason why I put him here is because he tries to get Henry killed, and he tries to kill Henry himself, but ultimately Hurricane gets what's coming to him by Henry pushing him off this part that they're on in this scene, and having Hurricane fall. Surprisingly, Hurricane survives the fall, but ultimately he gets what's coming to him by having him work in the steelworks for the rest of his time. So yeah. Also, Hurricane got pretty damaged from the fall. I should mention that. That's why he had to go to the works before he could go to his new job at the steelworks. Ultimately, I don't think that's a job that Hurricane wanted, if I remember. But yeah. But overall, that's pretty much all the characters from Henry's origin story, and that's pretty much all I want to say. So yeah, I'm just making sure that I didn't miss any characters before I end this. So yeah. Once again, I checked and I didn't miss any characters. One thing I should mention is that I'm sorry if there's certain pictures or things of characters here that I didn't show. It's mainly because if I couldn't find them at one point. But either way, that's pretty much all I want to say. Before I end this video, though, I just want to say I love this movie overall, and I think Mr. Ryan did a good job on it. So I just want to clarify that Mr. Ryan made this movie, and I did not take any claim of ownership from this video or from the things in this video. This video I did make, but the pictures and stuff that you see throughout this video, I did not make. They're owned by Mr. Ryan. I do not claim anything of ownership of them. It's all Mr. Ryan's work that made it. Yeah. But anyways, pretty much all I want to say. So I'm gonna end this video here, so it doesn't be too long. I did not expect it to be this long. But anyways, pretty much all I want to say. So anyways, yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye everyone. Bye.